Welcome back, creatures of the night. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most iconic nightmares ever committed to film, Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. A film that didn't just redefine horror, it rewired our dreams, stitched fear into the fabric of sleep itself, and gave us one of the most chilling villains ever imagined. I've watched this film more times than I can count. I know the curve of every boiler room pipe, the sound of every metallic scrape, every flicker of Freddy's shadow. And tonight, I'm taking you with me, deep into the dreamscape, where reality fractures and terror becomes art. Origins. To understand. A Nightmare on Elm Street. You need to understand Wes Craven. By 1984, he had already delivered raw brutality with The Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes. But he wanted to create something different, something supernatural yet grounded in a very real fear. The fear of falling asleep. Craven was inspired by documented cases of people dying during nightmares. These weren't legends. These were real, mysterious deaths. People who refused to sleep because they believed something in their dreams was hunting them. Some of them never woke up. This concept simmered in Craven's imagination until it birthed a villain like no other. A specter who doesn't wait outside your door. He waits for you to drift into unconsciousness. The film's DNA. The film centers on Nancy Thompson, played brilliantly by Heather Langenkamp, a character who is not only resourceful, but also one of the earliest examples of a horror heroine who survives not by chance, but by intelligence and determination. Opposing her is the infamous Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund. Freddy isn't a hulking brute. He isn't silent. He speaks. He mocks. He toys with his victims. His burned face, striped sweater, fedora, and, of course, the iconic glove of blades create a villain who is equally theatrical and terrifying. But Freddy in the first film isn't the wisecracking jester he later became. He is pure menace, an embodiment of nightmare logic. His appearances bend reality, contort physics, and blur the distinction between dream and waking life. Every scene feels like a trap you can't wake up from. Iconic scenes. This movie is stacked with unforgettable moments. Tina's rotating room death, for example, remains one of the most impressive practical effects ever created. No CGI. Just a spinning set and an actress who committed fully to the terror. Then there's Glenn's death. Yes, the moment featuring a very young actor who would later become a global star. His geyser of blood erupting from the bed is burned into horror history. You can reference the actor without breaking any copyright rules. This is commentary and critique, fully protected. Themes. Elm Street is more than a slasher. It's about generational guilt. The sins of the parents manifesting as supernatural vengeance upon their children. It's about denial, trauma, and the darkness lurking beneath suburban perfection. Every adult in the film is compromised, distracted, or outright negligent. The teens are isolated, forced to fight a horror they inherited but never deserved. Why it still holds up. Nearly 40 years later, the film still feels dangerous, still feels sharp. Its practical effects remain stunning, its pacing tight, its villain unforgettable. And above all, the idea behind it remains terrifying, that the place you're supposed to rest, the one sanctuary you cannot avoid, can turn on you. In conclusion, A Nightmare on Elm Street isn't just a horror classic. It's a cinematic milestone, a dreamlike descent into terror that continues to influence filmmakers today. If you haven't watched it in a while, maybe tonight's the night. Just try to stay awake. If you enjoyed this review and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe. Sweet dreams, my dears. Sweet dreams, my dears. Sweet dreams, my dears. Sweet dreams, my dears. Sweet dreams, my dears.